for coming back in to kick in here. We talked about the wind patterns earlier. What's the energy like now having fans in there, and what does that do just for everybody?
Well, it's been great. I mean, obviously, we played in one of the most hostile environments in Philadelphia that you're going to find in the NFL. So the last time we played Green Bay that I remember was pretty raucous was in the NFC Championship. So I think when you have a 2-year hiatus with fans and they get a chance to come in on a Sunday night game, I'm sure they're going to be tailgating a lot. I'm sure they're going to be playing a lot of fun games while we're getting ready, but I expect it to be really loud, and it's probably going to be a hard place for Green Bay to play in. And if we come out and play well and set the tempo, I think it'll be a really good opportunity for us to have home field advantage.
Have you kicked in the stadium this week at all, Robbie?
I haven't. I think that's important when you first get here. I think knowing kind of what all the spots do now, being in my 5th year with the team, I think is very helpful. Being with the same group is really helpful. We've had an opportunity to go in training camp and do some of those things. So I think more or less now at year 17, it's about how do you manage your body more mentally and physically. But it's been fun. I mean, it's been a fun year for me. I'm trying to enjoy it more and more as we go on, but obviously the sense of urgency for me to win a Super Bowl is pretty high too. So it's kind of the only thing I really care about and that I'm worried about, and just go out and do my job and help the team win, and hopefully we can be in the Super Bowl at the end and hold the trophy.
The difference between kicking here at night versus the day?
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, during the day, usually the end of the game is going to be a lot more windy than in the beginning. The wind pattern is pretty still in a 1 o'clock game at 10:56 when you're getting ready to warm up, as opposed to you come out right before 1 o'clock. The wind usually picks up. It's anywhere between 10 and 15, and then you get later in the year, the wind switches and you get a little bit more rain and some other things that you have to deal with. But usually when you start the game, pregame will be pretty windy. It'll taper down towards the end, so the fourth quarter is probably going to be the best time to kick in the game, and you just have to manage it through the first couple quarters.
How long, you talk about as you get older, enjoying it more, I'm not saying you're talking about retirement, we're trying to retire you, but, I mean, do you have an idea how much longer you want to play?
Not really. I think something that's been unique for me this year is my kids were able to come to a game 2 years ago. They came to the game in Detroit. So my kids are now old enough to where they're 8, 6, and 3, and all they care about is, hey, can I meet Raheem Mostert because he's really fast? Or when I call home and FaceTime is, where's Jimmy G? So, we sat down in the lobby and spent some time together, and for them to be able to interact with the guys like George Kittle, I think my middle son was starstruck when he met George in the hallway in the hotel. Whereas my oldest son's like, oh, hey, George, like it's nothing, So I think for me, looking back this offseason on, just kind of where I want, kind of what I want to get out of the last portion of my career is just enjoying the guys more, enjoying the locker room, savoring each moment, because you never know when it's going to be your last. And I don't think I'm anywhere close to retirement, but, you get in this daily grind of every day. Monday, you're lifting, getting a massage. Tuesday, you're, getting body maintenance. Wednesday, kick, and you get into that and you forget about the enjoyment. I mean, I was looking yesterday when they released the Hall of Fame 122 list, and I probably played with 15 of those guys. So to me, those are things that are pretty special, and I look back and just tell myself now, hey, enjoy it more, take in each and every moment, and that's the things that I'm going to look back on when I'm done, and I'll probably miss the most is the locker room.
Last one? Do you care about playing 20 years?
I would like to get 2,000 points and 500 field goals. I think that's a pretty big feat to do. I think that not many people have been able to do that. I think you have to be at the right place at the right time to be able to have that longevity. I've been pretty lucky to be around some really good special teams coaches. I started out with Dave Tobe and Jody Camillus and Chris Tabor, who's now in Chicago. Tom Quinn in New York. now Hightower. So those places I've been have always put a focus as an organization on special teams. So I've been pretty fortunate enough that I haven't been at a place where special teams isn't like the back burner. So they spend time on field goal. They spend time on, techniques that we need to do. And there's not a whole lot now that going through and watching film and, I could tell you pretty much every play for the last 15 years on special teams. It's kind of helped us get to kind of where I'm at mentally to be able to handle the long journey ahead to get to that 20-year mark. But we'll see. I mean, I'm going to probably play as long as I feel good enough to be able to help the team win. And hopefully my kids are enjoying it and will enjoy the ride with me, because I think it's important for them to understand when they win and lose in sports. My son, they play soccer on Saturday and football on Sunday. And they lost in soccer the other day, and my two kids were pretty much the only two not crying. And everyone's like, well, why is it that your kids take it so good? And they're like, well, try watching your dad lose a Super Bowl, or understanding that it's not always about participation ribbons, right? So as long as I'm getting those things out of playing football and I'm still happy playing and I'm not grumpy as the grandpa of the group, then I'll keep doing it. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Make sure you subscribe.